Just wanted to make sure.
Maybe I should.
Give me 5 seconds. Cause I know your YouTube is like way liver than mine. I don't think we got one on YouTube.
Share with my Facebook.
Just go live a bit. Does that mean I'm live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Last one podcast. Make it public.
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, I'm sharing it on Facebook, but it's on. It's gonna be on my YouTube. Well, I was sharing the link. What's up, my peoples? I call my YouTube family my peoples, by the way. What's up? And they're probably gonna be going crazy because they miss me. I haven't been on here in a while.
Oh my God! Well, tell them, welcome you back properly. No, hold on, wait. I was like, dang, you got 125 people? I got one live person. Y'all suck. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I just got like 5. What's up, my people? Hey, everybody, this is Anthony, my barber. Here.
That I am.
But he's my twin as well. So
Yes.
he's also a Gemini, you guys.
Whoop, whoop. We crazy? No, I'm just kidding.
Twin gang going.
We unstable.
Very unstable. Oh my goodness.
It's all good. It's all good.
Everybody loves us though.
Somebody does, for sure.
Just
I don't know who.
be in it.
But somebody loves me. Hey, what's up, man? I guess we just gonna go ahead and jump into this thing. We're gonna jump into this thing. We're gonna jump in. Jump out. Okay. Anyways, welcome to the Lost One Podcast, aka it's a podcast. I might cut that out. It might not be a podcast. Whatever it is, it's a podcast, and we're live. Welcome. Today we're gonna be talking about Black mental health. So if you're not Black, I'm sorry if we don't relate to you. But we're gonna do our best to try to relate to everybody, but mostly to Black people because we have different circumstances. Anyways, this is my guest.
Being Andy Jane. You can call me Andy though.
You want to plug? You want to tell me social medias and all that good stuff?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Instagram at Being Andy Jane. I'm actually a YouTuber in the Army. I do some kind of lifestyle vlogs. I'm trying to push forward in the podcast realm as well as entertainment host personality stuff. So yeah, go ahead and follow me, Being Andy Jane. I also have a Facebook page, so you can go like that, and then also subscribe to my YouTube, which we are also live on. So you can become one of my peoples. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm on hers.
Yeah.
Down here, y'all can't see, but so I'm a guest on her show. So
no, it says I'm a guest on yours.
Oh, so you're a guest.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Gotcha. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Black mental health. So I assume that you've done your research.
I have done a little bit. I
bit of
definitely
research.
have been wanting to talk on this subject for a while. And then after hearing one of your podcasts, I definitely was just like, yeah, that's what we need to talk about.
Oh.
So I did just a little bit. So basically, I want to talk about mental health because we both have been through our own situations when it comes to depression or mental illnesses. And it's just statistics that 1 out of 5 Americans struggle with a mental illness within their lifetime, at least at some point in their life, regardless of race. However, the third leading cause of death in African Americans between the age of 15 and 24 is suicide. Is that crazy?
That is.
Third. From 15 to 24.
Does that, I mean, this is a weird question. It's totally, but do you think some of that has anything to do with like the gay community as well? Like as far as being Black and gay, because I know a lot of the Black people, a lot of gay people already they have a high rate of suicide, but being Black and, gay or whatever you are, has also, do you know of a percentage of that, or?
I do not, but I definitely think that could contribute, especially because us as a community or a culture, we're predominantly Christian, Baptist, or what have you, and we lean to faith more so than anything. And if you're a Bible thumper or what have you, most families are against homosexuality. Yeah, homosexuality. And so for that reason, I feel like as a black man, especially, I don't feel like it's that bad on the women's side, but I mean, it could be.
True.
But for a black man, it's hard enough to not be able to identify with your masculinity, and then also be black and not being able to be masculine, and then your family being against it with the religion aspect. So yeah, for sure, suicide leading cause, third leading cause. And then another thing, African American men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than African American women.
Wow. That's interesting.
So I know that you went through a hardship, and I just wanted to ask you how that went. What took you, what did it take for you to go seek help? Like, basically, how did that happen?
Well, when I was in high school, and this was years ago, but it's hard to explain. But so when I was in high school, I was about 16, 17 years old. I played football. I lost my uncle. Like, my uncle, he used to come to all my football games my senior year. And when we got to the playoffs, and I'm talking about every single game, so here we are, game 14, the game before the state championship. And I was a captain that week. Oh. So I had to leave. And then 2, my uncle died 2 days before the football game.
Oh my goodness.
And literally right outside this neighborhood.
No way.
Yeah, so he pulled out of the neighborhood, went right, and then somebody went head on to him. That's before they split the highways.
Oh my goodness.
And so he died, and that really took a toll on me. And we ended up going down there. We lost to a team that we shouldn't have lost to.
Right.
It was just bad. And then I want to say not even a month later, my grandma died. So then I started, I just thought it just slumped me into depression.
Right.
And back then, we didn't really take it as serious as we do now, but my parents took me to, they were military, so they took me on base to get diagnosed and whatever. They said I had mild depression due to the fact that I didn't have suicide or suicidal tendencies or thoughts or whatever. So it was mild case of depression. But after that, I might have saw the counselor once or twice, didn't care about it, go on in life. I get arrested for a bunch of crap. I go to prison.
I heard about
that.
It's like prison, this ain't for me.
Yeah, I'm good. But I ended up going to prison. So I'm black. 2, I went to prison. So now I'm a black felon. So the way I see my life, at a point was I'm just a big old black smudge on society's white paper. And I refer to myself as that, but I mean, because that's what it is. I'm a black smudge on society's white paper, and it's already bad enough that, as a black man, we have it hard. We don't have a head start, so I already started at the back of the race.
Right, especially if you don't have money.
Right. Well, I mean, but we were straight though. We weren't.
Found out you were affluent.
I wouldn't say affluent. No, we're not gonna go there. It wasn't affluent. So that being in prison had a lot to do with, I think, what started warping my mind even more. Anyways, I got out, got married, had kids. Life was great. But then there was still something wrong with me. And I really didn't know how to pinpoint it. I didn't understand it. I would keep doing things and not even realizing, like, yo, why are you doing this? But it's like almost like an addict. Like, I couldn't stop doing this. Or
right.
I couldn't stop doing that. Or if I told a lie, I got so used to lying that I would dig myself in lying holes and have to lie in them. Bars. But I ended up going through a divorce. And at the time, my ex, her situation, she wasn't able to have the kids pretty much at all. So I had the kids 24/7. I mean, she might have got them one day out of the week due to circumstances. But so going through a divorce, having the kids, having a job, you know, my daughter is in grade school, so she has homework. I have to make sure she does that. She's doing track. I have a 2-year-old son. I was coaching. When I tell you that whole moment, I got so stressed and depressed that I ended up having shingles. When I tell you that is the worst pain that I've ever felt in my entire life, I've never felt nothing like so bad. And all the while, I still have to be a parent.
Right.
And so that's when I just realized, I was like, yo, you need to go to counseling. You need to figure out how to start doing this.
Keep doing this by yourself,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've always been a very self-aware person, been very self-aware, but going to counseling and seeing my therapist, she really helped me figure out where things are, like how to manage my emotions and stuff like that.
So wait, is your therapist black?
She's not.
Yeah, mine is either.
She's white, but she's funny, and I like her.
Yeah, he's a middle-aged white man as well, and he's been doing it for like 20 plus years. So.
Yeah. Does it matter though?
No, but some people. My sister, she's actually half black, and she's looking for a black therapist in the DC area, which I found therapyforblackgirls.com has black providers if anyone wants to check that out. But yeah. But anyways, sorry. Back to you.
I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I just knew that I had to be here for my kids, and that was the first time that wouldn't say I had a suicidal thought, but I definitely had a feeling or a urge to just not be here.
Right.
Like, God, I just want to die. You know what I'm saying? But not so much I'm gonna kill myself or take myself out, but I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Texas is hot. It was just a bunch of stuff going on, and the divorce and money and this and that, and trying to it was bad. And then I have bad anxiety. So anxiety really, I think that's what really kind of kicked off my slump into depression. But yeah, that was probably the toughest time of my life, and that was just 6-7 months ago.
Right.
No, it's almost a year. It's almost been a year now.
Okay.
But I can honestly say, since I've been seeing counseling and figuring out what the heck is wrong with me, I feel like right now I'm the best version of myself that I've ever been.
That's awesome. I feel the same way since I've been in counseling since I think it's been 10 months now, so since August of last year. So.
I mean, even though we still suck, I mean, I'm still the best version of myself.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
still ain't shit, but I'm still all over the place. But I think something important about what you were talking about was just like not knowing how to express your emotions, like when your uncle passed, right into your grandmother passing, and it's just like, what do I... Did you ever find yourself like spazzing on people, angry outbursts, fighting? Were you one of those, or were you just a shutdown?
I shut completely. I shut down so bad, my family didn't know if I was going to graduate. Like when I tell you, I went to school, I just was there. You know, and right after our playoff game, I didn't even get to order patches for my jacket, nothing like that, because I ended up having to go to Atlanta. You know, I went with my dad to Atlanta to bury my uncle, because you know they're from Georgia. Okay. And so I missed out on all of that, but I mean, and then had to drive. I mean, it was just, man, when I tell you it was just very depressing. And I think that's when I really started to feel it. And then I didn't have football anymore as an outlet. It was my senior year, so everything was done. So I just completely shut down.
It's like everything, the blues of everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm happy to hear that you sought help, because I think that's why it's really important for us to speak on this topic, especially within the Black community, because everyone thinks it's so taboo. Like, to be depressed, like it's such a strong word or something. Like, no, it's actually an illness. It's but it can be treated. So I think that once you start recognizing that you're going through something, whether you're losing interest in things or you're sleeping too much, too tired. I know when it comes to men in depression, they get more tired than anything, and it's more a physical thing. And I know for me with my depression, I couldn't eat. And literally somebody on Facebook, I lost probably like 15 pounds, and I'm already small. So when people started seeing me and they're like, wait up, like you're really small now, like really, really small. So I think when people started noticing that I was losing weight, as well as me just not eating, I started making excuses for myself. Like when I go out to eat with people, I would eat like a little bit and I'd be done. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh, I'm just portion control. Like, I didn't know what I was going through. I didn't know I was depressed. I honestly thought that I was just...
Did they believe that?
Upset with myself. I don't know.
Oh.
I have no clue.
Jeez.
I don't know if anyone believed that. I don't think anybody's seen the signs, because even whenever I walked into my therapist's office for the first time, he just started asking me questions. You know, obviously I was like answering them, but I was like super knowledgeable about what I was going through and how I was feeling. And he was just like, I wouldn't have, he said it took him like 5 sessions to figure me out.
5.
Yeah.
And you know what's sad?
I had like this.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know so many people who I've suggested counseling to, and they gave up on 1, or they gave up on 2. But I'm like, dog, like, you know, sometimes they got to figure you out. You know,
right.
They got to work this out, or either you're holding something back, or you know, you're in. I don't know. It's just, but that's nice to know that he admitted that it took him 5.
It took him 5 sessions to. Well, he knew that I was dealing with depression and anxiety, because the way the military does it, which I don't know if you went through the same thing, it's like they sent you to like a social worker first. You talk to them for a couple of sessions, and they either send you, then they source you out to which kind of therapy that you need. So I went through cognitive processing therapy, which I'm still kind of in it, but we take detours sometimes because I have life issues that I just go in there and just lay all out on him. But it's been really great. And I think a lot of my issues come from childhood trauma. So that's another thing I kind of wanted to dive into. Do you know like anyone who was in like the foster care system or like adopted or anything of that nature? I wonder if anybody on Facebook is like that.
I feel like I do, but then I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I really can't.
Well, now you do. Well, so I wasn't completely into the foster care, but my biological mother, she basically tried to kill me at the age of 12. Woke me and my brother up with knives. It was a very traumatic experience that I will not go into detail about, but we got taken away from her and put in actually Round Rock Children's Home, which is, you know, in Austin, Texas. So we went on, and I guess my brother's dad, he always raised me. So he was always a part of my life from the age of 2 or 3. So when his family found out that that's what had happened, they swooped in and got both of us. And it was just by the grace of God that I got to stay, because he wasn't my biological father. But he stood up in front of the judge and like cursed them out and was saying, no, that's my daughter and she come home with me. So basically. So yeah, I was raised by a family that wasn't biological to me, including, so I have 4 sets of parents. Basically, I meant 2 sets of parents.
Oh, okay.
The family that raised me, my daddy and my mother, and then my biological mom, who I have reconnected with. It took like 9 years after that time frame. And my biological dad, which is still a tough one. We are reconnected, but we're not talking. And I think that has a lot to do with my depression too. I think that's really what sent me into it over the summer of last summer. So dealing with those situations. But yeah, so a lot of childhood trauma. And then, you know, trying to fight through it. And I'm like, yo, I can't do this on my own anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. If I got to go through anything else, y'all can go ahead and cancel me out. I'm done. So yeah, that's why I went to seek help. And I'm super happy I did, because I feel so much better. And I'm medicated too, though. Are you medicated?
No, I'm not.
You're not? People are scared of the medication.
And I was going to actually have that down here.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was like, I wonder how... Some people are afraid of medication. I know a few people who take it and they needed it, and it helps them. And I'm not personally, I wasn't afraid of it, but it wasn't even really suggested to me.
Really?
It was more so, I mean, it seems like, you know, you can get so deep to where it would help you, but you can also pull yourself up. And so he was like, I don't really. She didn't really recommend it. She was just like, if you ever feel like you just can't climb out of whatever it is, and you've been there for however long, or you start to feel certain things, and basically, she was like, all right, well, hit me up and I got you. But no, I wasn't. I'm not on medication.
Yeah, I love my medication. I'm not gonna lie. So when I first started the medication, I was just going with it because I was like, whatever y'all say is gonna help, just give it to me, because if not, I'm gonna do real drugs, like real drugs. So y'all need to give me my stuff. So they put me on one medication, and that it made me okay, but it was just like I still didn't have enough energy. I was still coming home every day after work and going straight to sleep, and then like waking up for the next day and starting all over. Wow. Like literally I was going to work and going to sleep. There was like really no eating in between. The only time I would eat is during lunch, and that's because my coworkers would drag me out. But yeah, so 6 months of being on that, it kind of kicked in, but then also I was just like, yo, I gotta keep complaining because I can't keep living like this again. I mean, y'all are helping. I am coming to therapy like twice a week, but what's next? So 6 months of that, and then they added something else to it, and that has changed my life. And I know it has changed my life because I was lazy and I didn't go to the pharmacy for like a week, and I ran out, and so I was off my meds for like 4 days, and I was crazy. I don't want to say I was crazy, but I could definitely tell that I had some mood swings, and I was super irritable, and I didn't want to deal with nobody, and it hits you. So that's one thing I will say is if you do get medication, be sure to not fall off of it tragically like that. If you're going to get off of it, you go down in small dosages, just like the way you came up, you go down. So, yeah.
Do you feel like how long do you think that you're going to need them? Or is there like a period of time where it's like, all right, we're going to use it from month A to month B, and we're going to see where you're at?
No, they don't. Actually, when I first went in, my therapist was like, yeah, so because he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a high IQ. I think that he was like, I think that during this process, we'll be able to get you out of here in like 3 or 4 months or something like that. I was like, bruh.
You have no idea.
This is deeper than you think. And I think that's why it took him 5 sessions to figure me out. Because that was probably like in the 2nd or 3rd session. Right. And so, but no, we haven't talked about any other medication or like adding anything to it. I think I'm pretty happy with where I am now. But I do know that once I feel like I'm tired of taking pills, and maybe I'll just start going off of it slowly. My mom was on it for a couple of years on antidepressants after her son died, and she said she was on it. It helped, and she slowly got off of it. So I've definitely heard of people detoxing off of it. It's not as bad as it seems, but I think medication is definitely here for a reason, and we should use it if they're not going to let us smoke weed.
Well, I mean, it's legal in states.
Not for the military. So.
Oh, bummer.
I know.
Well, you should hurry up and get out. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
I'm kidding.
I can't wait to get out. Oh my goodness.
Medication. I've always been interested in that, only because I don't need it, or I've never had to use it, so I really can't. I can never speak on it or suggest it. I mean, I can be like, yo, if you really need it, then you need to use it. But I kind of wonder, like, you said you were off it for 4 days. So you said your mood swings. Like, do you think, like while you're taking your medication, are there things that you have to do or practice to start managing how that could happen? Like, do you have like tools, or is there something like you take the antidepressant and then it kind of helps you not swing your mood, but when that's not happening or when you're not going through that, is there anything that you have to do to start managing it yourself?
No, not really. I think I've been learning more through like meditation and yoga and mindfulness, like just doing things on my own. Nothing that like the behavioral health clinic has taught me. Basically, it's more so them just feeding me pills and talking to me. But no. They're rewiring my brain. My therapist is really good about making me think in a different light or a different way, and I have homework and do all that cool stuff. But for the most part, if I am having mood swings, I just ride it out, and I try to identify those triggers that make me get there. So if a person triggers me, I can't be around them. Which I know someone on my YouTube was just like, no, you have to get in the mindset of I let them trigger me rather than that person triggered me. And for me, I'm all about energy, and if your energy is off, bitch, you triggered me. Right. Like,
I'm gonna be responsible and remove myself from the situation.
Like, I'm medicated, okay? If you're coming around me with that bullshit, okay, like you triggered me. Right. So I gotta move around. So there's like certain things that I avoid, certain people that I won't be around, or certain situations I won't put myself in, just because I know that I am super irritable and feisty, and I have a security clearance to keep, basically.
There's a lot at risk. You better keep your cool.
I try. Seriously.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. I don't know that.
But I had something else written down here, right? So I wanted to talk about like toxic behaviors, especially with hip hop influences. Like, Future is someone who is open about being a druggie in his songs. He says he's not addicted, but in his songs, that's what sells. Do you think that has a negative influence on our Black community, especially for their mental health? Self-medicating, as we call it.
I mean, it depends on. I don't listen to Future, so I don't know.
What about Gucci?
I don't listen to nobody. I only because I don't listen to certain people who I know will put me, because I used to be a big Zero fan. So
he's depressing.
Very depressing. And then one day I was listening to his music, and I was fine. I had a great day. And I put on one song, but I normally play a whole album. And then certain songs came on, and I just felt my energy just like depleted. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this music is like,
it's demonic.
I mean, it was just killing me. And I was just like, I was happy about an hour ago. It was good. And then now I'm depressed.
Yep.
And so there's certain music that I just refuse to listen to because I know what it'll do to me. You know, one of my friends, he's a rapper, and he talks about like how, you don't listen to murder music when you about to get get it in with a chick. You know, and you don't listen to bump and grind to, I mean, even though everybody canceled R. Kelly, when you about to go shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying? So music is very moody. So anything that will put me in a mood that I don't want to be in, I just avoid it. And I don't really open myself up to it because I do feel like music
is a trigger.
And it affects the community. It affects the way we think. It affects the way, I think it's affected how we value things, whether it be women, whether it be drugs, whether it be murder, whether it be, the fact that T.I. got a tribute to trap music with all the dope dealers and trap people all in, what I'm saying?
Yeah, the trap house and all that.
Yeah, it's just like, so I look at that and it's like that's so clownish to me. As far as if you're trying to be a black man, like, and then T.I. kind of pisses me off sometimes too. I don't know why
he's
I'm getting
such a fence.
He's a clown to me. T.I.'s a clown. Like, you promote this, but then you get on social media trying to promote that. Then you want to do this, then you want to defend this, and you want to say, don't you disrespect that woman because this man died, but then you disrespect it. It's just like, come on, fam.
Too much. Yeah.
I can't deal with him. He's a clown to me, but, I hope he never hears this and threatens me on Instagram.
I mean, he's like this little, though.
I mean, I've seen him before. I've met him once or twice. Exactly. I don't want to do that. Don't send your goons to me. He ain't never going to hear this. Hope not.
Yeah, no, I definitely think like the hip hop community is not taking this mental health as serious as they should, especially with all these like suicides that are going on, overdoses, just the way people are starting to write their songs and music is coming from a place of a lot of sadness. They're crying out for help for the most part. Right. Gucci even said it himself when he was talking about drug use and like self-harm in his lyrics. drug abuse, and he said, I made a lot of millions, but I was tripping.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm glad that he spoke out on that, but I just wish that more artists would speak out on it. So that's kind of why I think mental health is like very important to me.
It is. And I mean, and Big Sean got an album that he's got dropping that's about mental health.
He is one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, he's
in my top 3 for sure. I love him.
I can listen to Big Sean.
Yeah. I seen him in Vegas, and he like literally performed all his songs. It was like a club appearance, and it was amazing.
I need to go to Vegas. Golly.
You've never been to Vegas?
Never.
Well, yeah. You should definitely go.
Definitely going for my mental health. I have FOMO. No, I'm just kidding. I do not have FOMO.
But no, I think that if we just normalize mental illnesses, we would be a better off.
Because we're normalizing everything else.
I mean, right? I mean, I'm just saying, if somebody can choose whether they want to be a male or a female, you should be able to take care of your brain. I'm just saying.
Right.
So if you were to sprain your ankle, break your hip, whatever, you would go to physical therapy. Am I correct?
You're correct.
So if your brain is traumatized by whatever situations that you have been through, because a lot of things do cause trauma, and white people have been doing this forever. Let me just tell y'all. White people have been doing this forever. Going to get medication where you think that Xanax, all the white ladies popping the pills and all that stuff. Like, they have been going to get help forever because of their divorces or their kids leaving the household. That's their trauma. Our trauma is literally watching somebody die at the hands of a policeman.
Right.
Or being racially profiled by a policeman. Or just getting pulled over by a police because at this point, I'm scared.
Or just the fear of being pulled over by a policeman.
A policeman will get behind me and my whole body will shut down. I will feel it physically. So for all those traumas to come together and we not know how to fix them or address them or express our emotions or have an outlet, that's where depression kind of creeps in. Depression or anxiety or any kind of mental illness. But depression being like a big deal and the third leading cause of suicides in African American.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I looked up this thing and it says historical adversity, which includes slavery, sharecropping, race-based exclusion from health, education, social and economic resources. It translates into socioeconomic disparities experienced by African Americans. It says it is in turn linked to mental health. People who are impoverished, homeless, incarcerated, substance abuse problems all these problems, they're at a higher risk for poor mental health. And you start to wonder like why we have so many fatherless homes due to incarceration, due to drug abuse. The crack epidemic was it took a lot of us out, whether it was the dealers or the fiends. Just everything, the what's that called? The hood. It's on the tip of my tongue. What's it called? We need the homes, the projects, living in those types of environments. Right. And of course, people talk about it, but then it just sucks that as, in hip hop, since that's pretty much the only thing that we have, we glorify it. And it's like, oh, if you came up in a middle class home, then you're not one of us. Right. And, when you think about, black community back in the day was, you'd have your doctors, your janitors, your teachers, your lawnmower people. Everybody stayed on the same street. And that's what a community was, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, if I was a little kid, I can walk out and see, well, my dad's a janitor, but there's a doctor right across the street from me. Right. Versus us, we're just moving out of communities. It's like,
gentrification.
Gentrification. But it's just crazy when you looking up all these the statistics about being black and what we have to deal with and things that certain people won't understand. Like, so if we're talking about our black mental health, and then for somebody to come out and be like, well, everybody, that's like that whole Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter thing. Yeah. It gets a little frustrating because it's like, I get it. Yeah, you have issues. But at the same time, we, like, it says, you know, historical adversities, we're still dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still deal with what, you know, they went, the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still deal with those things. We still deal with slavery. You know, our mindset because of what was happened to us. And we don't own land. We don't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know, man. Being Black is tough. And being Black, it can make you depressed. Just being Black.
Just being Black.
Like,
that's just enough.
Like, I'm sitting in the house and I'm Black. I'm depressed. God, it's like, because if I go outside, I might get shot. I might get pulled over. I might get hated on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even though we all say, and we can look back and be like, oh, well, I couldn't be my ancestors. You know, honestly, I feel like they were stronger than us. You know,
Definitely.
mentally. Like, because one, they weren't exposed to the crap that we're exposed to. You know, social media.
Right.
But I just feel like they were stronger than us. I feel like, you know, me saying, oh, I couldn't deal with like, that took strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because, you know, you weren't thinking right now. You weren't acting on impulse, and we're very impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's why I don't think that we're in the slave mentality so much, because we're very impulsive. Like, we snap. And that right there is a sign of some kind of mental illness. Okay, if you don't have some kind of self-control at this point in your life, you need to seek help. What is that? They say 15 to 24. So I would say around 21, if you cannot control yourself, you probably should seek help. You something's wrong. But the lack of support in the community, in the medical field is quite interesting, because I've read a few articles where even our pain tolerance is higher. So they won't prescribe us certain medications because they think that we're not in pain when we say we are.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I was reading a story on it, and it was like a couple weeks ago I was reading about it, and I was just like, damn, like, that's true. I know I have a high pain tolerance because I just do. I don't know what it is, but
you're a woman. Most women have a higher pain tolerance than any man on earth, so I can't relate.
Yeah, that's true. We do have to birth children. Huh?
Exactly, and I couldn't imagine anything being inside of me at all. As a man, I'm sorry, no. It's not toxic masculinity. I just couldn't. Nope. It's not happening.
But yeah, so whenever we do go to seek help, I think it's very important for us to be open to it, because if we're not open to it, then they can't diagnose us correctly if they are in the right headspace to diagnose us. But I remember when my mom was diagnosed, she said depression is for white people, and she was well in her 40s when she said that. So she grew up all her life thinking depression was for white people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
That is. So think of who else's mother is out there saying depression is a choice, and okay. Right.
You know, you're just sad. Like, that's the worst one. I'm like, man, you know what? I could shoot you right now. Yeah. You know? I get, I mean, and I'm
not just sad, I'm tired. I'm blank. I'm hungry, but I can't eat.
Right.
I have no appetite. I literally remember arguing with somebody on Facebook that was saying, like, depression is a choice. And I was just like, I really wish it was. Yeah. Like, if I could just choose not to be, like, yeah, I would totally do that. But the fact that I'm hungry and I don't have an appetite to eat anything, like, I would make a bowl of cereal and be like, noodles. Like, nothing would satisfy me to where I'd want to actually eat it.
See, mine's the opposite.
You were eating everything.
I ate the whole world, and I couldn't satisfy. Nothing was satisfying my hunger. I was just like, oh. I'm that dude that sits on the couch and watches sports and eating bonbons, ice cream, and pizza.
That's so not good.
That's why I was like, when you said I couldn't eat, I'm like, dang, I wish I had that problem. Like, that's a problem I'd rather have. Let me just not eat for a few days. I'm just saying.
It wasn't good. I lost a lot of weight, and I missed my weight. So I'm getting back there, though.
I miss my weight not being where it's at. Whatever. Anyways.
I swear.
Let's see. So I had a few questions. So you were talking about diagnosing earlier, and it says current systems are based on the idea of diagnosing and treating mental disorders. I said, so like, how do you feel about the diagnosing process? Because I know there's some people who deal with depression, anxiety, who get so pissed off at the people who have it mildly. It's like, you're just diagnosing yourself and like, it's almost like there's a community of people who deal with depression, anxiety, who hate people who don't have it as bad as them.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it almost sounds like everybody, especially black people.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't grow up as impoverished as I did because my family didn't have this and
Right.
You, on the other hand, grew up in the suburbs and such and such and such, and you didn't grow up in the hood or the PJs or this or that. Your daddy was there. But then it's almost like, well, you know, I'm sorry if you're on here, Dad, I'm sorry. But it's like, I mean, I almost wish he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I would have actually been cool if he wasn't around.
Yeah.
Like, I probably would have been all right, because I started looking back and you talking about childhood. There were certain things that in my marriage, I would do certain things. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like my dad. So I'm trying so hard not to be like my dad that I end up being like him.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to do this, but I end up doing this, that, and that. And I was like, yo, I got daddy issues. And he was here.
And he was there.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got all kinds of issues when it comes to parents. You have no clue.
Pobrecita.
It's so sad. I'm just like, yo. So not only that, so like we lived in a trailer growing up. We were in a single wide for a minute, and then we moved to a double wide, and the double wide was worse than single just because it was like a fixer-upper that my dad was supposed to fix on and never did, and still to this day hasn't. And I graduated 11 years ago, so
he still has it.
It looks even worse now, and I hate to say that, on here, because I know he is on Facebook, but it's just one of those things. As a child, kids can be very rude. And I thank God that, like, where I lived, everybody that rode the bus with me, I think we were like our trailer park neighborhood. I wouldn't even call it a trailer park because it was like an actual neighborhood. However, some trailers look better than others, put it like that. And so ours was probably the worst. Oh. And we were like the last neighborhood, so nobody ever really seen our place outside of the people that rode the bus, and everybody that rode the bus lived out of a trailer, so they didn't really care either. Right. But whenever I would have to get taken home after school, that was very embarrassing. And then moving forward in life and not knowing how to have like this sense of worth, because neither one of my biological parents stepped in to, take care of me or properly nurture me. So I always grew up feeling like I was a burden and didn't ever ask for much or didn't try to be super extra or anything of that nature. So now it's tough in my adulthood to just figure myself out and my self-worth. And even though I know I'm the bomb and people look at me like I am the bomb, like I got this going on and that going on, but deep down inside, it's just a little girl who has little issues that she needs to fix, and she is working towards those things. So I just hope that I can be an encouragement to my other brothers and sisters to go seek help.
I agree. I'm telling you, I don't feel like I don't feel like I've dealt with as tough. I have my days, which I'm sure we all do. But since I've been learning how to manage my emotions, one thing that my therapist would tell me, she was like, in any relationship, and at the time I was going through a divorce when she told me this, but she was like, I think as humans, we put too much on other people. So it's like, if you and I are married and I sit there and I say, hey, here's 50% of my emotions, I need you to manage this. And then you're doing the same thing. There's like this big old pot of 100% of emotions that it's almost impossible to manage. So she was talking about how you need to be able to satisfy at least 75 to 85% of your own emotional, physical, and mental needs. And that really stuck out to me because it's like, now I have to manage, certain things and, finding out what triggers and where it comes from. She gave me this little circle where, it has like, if you feel this way, it goes to this. And it's like, it's like homework. And I just have to figure out whatever I was going through, where it was coming from. So I've learned to satisfy or fulfill, some of my emotional needs to where now that I might have I don't have a lot of friends, so I might have a friend or two, like Chris is one of them, who I can bounce certain things off of. I'll never put like I can give him 5% of my emotional needs, like, yo, I'm feeling like this or whatever, but I'm not depending on him because I'm fulfilling that myself. And you know, whether it be physical, I think so many people are so like we're in a generation where it's like everybody needs 6-packs and workout people, and you know everybody's at the gym and getting in shape, and that's great, and I'm trying to get there too. But it's just, you know, but a lot of those people are mentally unhealthy, and just
no amount of gym time is gonna help that. So.
Not at all. I mean, it can help, but if that's almost like it's like an addiction, or you know what I'm saying, you're self-medicating by going to the gym and getting abs to feel better about yourself. Great, whoop-de-doo, you have abs. I don't, and I feel great. But you know, just I wouldn't have been as aware as I was had I not sought counseling. You know, had I not sought therapy, and like you know, right now I feel like I'm the best version of myself. I feel like I'm very honest now. I didn't value honesty. I mean, and it's weird because I didn't value those things because I wasn't around people who valued it. I was around people who lied, steal, cheated. I was around. I mean,
What kind of friends you got?
I'm just saying. That's what I was around, and then I was institutionalized. So I mean, there's a lot of things that I had working against me mentally, and then being there, you know, for as long as I was, it wasn't forever, but you know, it was like a year and some change that I've done, and I think a lot, and I get in my own head, and I don't know, man.
I'm the same way. I get in my head a lot too. I think it's just a Gemini thing.
Gemini thing, you know?
I think so.
It's just us.
It's just
it might
us.
be. My mom does the same thing.
Yeah, it's just us. Like,
and then I'm a procrastinator. I don't know. Oh my God. Is that us too?
When you were talking about that on your podcast, I was like, yeah, that's me. Start stuff and then don't finish it. Yeah.
I don't finish anything. Like, I got to finish something tonight. I forgot.
I'll never get through a whole book like a notebook. Like, I'll just go buy a new one. Like, I never.
You do that too?
I get bored with it. Like, I get bored looking at it, so I'll go buy a new one.
I need some different lines.
Yeah, so I feel you on that. Do you think that, like, while you were depressed, did you notice you not feeling any happy feelings? So, like, at a graduation, knowing you should have been happy and experiencing it in the moment, did you feel like you were just kind of numb and on autopilot during that time?
Oh, yeah, big time. I have 2 kids who have nothing. I should be nothing but grateful when they wake up and smile. And there was times where I was just like, get on my face. You know, these are my babies. They don't know what's going on with me. You know, they're innocent. But I was just like, man, you know, I'm glad you're happy, but I'm not. So keep that over there. Yeah. You know, it was bad. You know, when my daughter, I had my ups and downs with that, but I was definitely on autopilot for a hot minute. If it wasn't for my mom, I honestly probably would have took myself out. She helped me a lot. She really did. Yeah, I probably would have got to that point where I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm checking out. So she kind of reduced that to, I just don't want to exist. Like, just, I hope somebody just hits me with a car and I'm out of there. But yeah, she helped me. I feel like her helping me and being there for me and being able to help me with the kids. Sometimes she would see it on me. I'd just come home and I'm just like, and she was like, I'm going to take the kids. Yeah. And I'm just like.
See, I'm super glad. Well, actually, I feel like kids would make it easier. I don't know. But maybe that's because I don't have kids. So.
I mean, I think.
I thought that they would they would be more motivation to be better and get better and stuff like that. But I understand when you're going through something so tough as tough as divorce and then having to take on the load. Right.
I mean, they did. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have sought help. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I wouldn't be able, you know, there's so many things that, you know, going through the divorce, my daughter, you know, she took it hard, you know, so she sees counseling as well. You know, this was her mom's, like, so she acts a certain way with her mom that she doesn't with me. So, you know, she would be like, I don't know, Ariel's starting to worry me, so I'm going to take her to see a, you know, a counselor. And it's not nothing, like, super heavy. He plays games with her and just asks her to talk about herself, stuff like that. But, you know, she's 6 years old, but she's very in tune for some weird reason. I don't know, these kids are
What's her
advanced. Sign? I don't know. She was born August 31st.
She's like a Leo or?
You know what she might be? Because my sister's July 27th. I think she's a Leo.
No, because it's at the end of August. What's after Leo?
Oh, shoot. It is at the end of August. No.
Virgo.
Well, thank you. But you know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be. It probably would have been worse. I probably would. I mean, I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it would have been better. I don't know. But if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be trying to be better. I wouldn't have changed my value system. I don't think anybody discusses what their values are. Whether it be friendships, relationships, it's like, why don't we as people sit down and have a conversation about, hey, what are your values in life? And I think, going to, counseling helped me figure out what my values were, because they were pretty bad, and what I valued was not good. But yeah, man, they helped, but it was hard. I had those moments where they pulled, like seeing my son's face might have pulled me out of that down moment. Or but then sometimes like it just didn't matter. It's all right, dog, like just get out my face. Like I can push you down the stairs right now. But it sucks because I get now, even as a man, I get how women can go through postpartum depression and how they do these things to their children. It sucks, and I feel sorry for those kids who lose their lives due to that, and then the parents who go through that and end up committing those things. But it's real, like hearing my son cry at night, because at this time he wouldn't sleep at night. So not only was I not getting sleep, not only did I have to take care of 2 kids, I couldn't. My son is screaming. Like it used to frustrate me. Like my jaws were like it was bad. I just want to like punch and I'm admitting this only because I didn't do it and I wasn't going to. But it's just that feeling, and dealing with what I was dealing with didn't help. It made it worse in some instances. But yeah, it helped. I can't say it would have been better with or without him. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that without children, it's kind of hard because you have nothing to grasp onto. Like literally being by yourself, like no relationship, single, coming home to an empty house every day. You're like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to sleep. So it's even more of a hole, and it takes you a while. Well, it took me a while to even recognize that there was something wrong. I just thought I was tired because San Antonio is hot, and it was during the summertime. So I thought I was just hot from walking inside the house. I don't know. But yeah, it was a tough year. But we're on top now.
Goddamn
we on
right.
top. We going. So
going forward. Trying to get y'all check y'all's mental health. Figure out, look in the mirror and see where you at in life.
I wonder if people would actually be more open to talking about it now. How many more?
And that's why I'm like very transparent about myself and things that I go through, because it's like there's somebody who, people be like, why are you putting your business out there? And I'm like, well, don't get it twisted. There's certain things that I reserve for me and, things that I keep intimate with whoever I want to share those things with. But then I feel like there's nothing that I go through as a human that is for me, and I think that's why we're connected as humans, like as people. We're supposed to be very relational. I'm very antisocial. I'm an introvert naturally. So
I'm a social butterfly.
I'm not. I will sit in here and be fine. And somebody, hey, you want to go out? And I'm good. I'd rather be at the house doing nothing.
Yeah, I'd rather be at the house. But if you do get me out,
I'm
the life
extrovert.
of the party.
I can get there, but I try not to. But I don't feel like anything that I go, like, what's the point of me going through this and conquering it?
And not being able to share it.
I mean, and then it's just like, but for me, why would it just be for me?
Yeah.
Like there's no purpose in me just conquering. Then what I'm gonna do? Pat myself on the back, like, hey, you did it. Then it's like, then what?
Yeah.
So I feel like anything that I go through, I'm transparent. I talk about it. I put it out there because, I tell people, like, I get so many inboxes like, yo, I'm so glad you talked about this. And although they might not have said anything, whether it be on Facebook or they might not comment on the post, we end up having a whole conversation about that. And then now they look to me to kind of, hey, look, hey, nigga, I'm going through this. Hey, what's up? How did you come up? So.
Hey, I went to seek help. Like, I've gotten a few of those messages like, hey, you inspired me to go seek help. Go see a therapist.
See, my friend actually, she inspired me. She was like, yo, and she admitted she was dealing with what she was dealing with. And I've been around her for years, at least 13, 14 years, maybe even more. and I've seen what she went through. I've seen the things she would do, and then she's on antidepressants as well, and she was like, "Yo, you should. It's the best thing I've ever done."
Seriously.
So we actually have the same therapist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, this little lady does that," and then she would cuss me out. She'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, why would you do that?" She's just very blunt. She's very honest, but it works for me because that's how I am. And we work fine. So I love therapy.
My therapist could not do that because I think I'm always right. I think that's my problem. Like in the last session, he was just like, "So is there anything that you think that you could go back on, or something that you cut off that might have caused you to miss out on something good?" And I was like, "No." Like, no.
You made every right turn in life.
And I was listing to him some of the situations that have gone wrong in the last year that would be options to do that. And no, I still can't see myself doing that. Like, no, hell no. Like, no, I was definitely right and justified, and everybody can kiss my ass.
But that just sounds like every woman on earth to me.
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry, ladies.
If I am wrong, then yes, I will. I know how to apologize. I know.
But if you just sat there and said that you're always right, then how do you figure out when you're wrong?
When it comes to relations, I am always right. Okay, not all the time, but when it comes to cutting off people, I'm always right for the cutoff.
So your cutoff is justified.
It's justified. There is no going back. And maybe that's my therapist does say that's just a survival trait of, you've already hurt me enough. I'm not gonna let you hurt me even more. So, yeah, I'm fine with that trait though.
No, I mean, hey, whatever works for you.
I don't do all that back and forth. Nah, you can have that. Keep that bullshit. Okay, thank you.
Hey, you said you about energy and vibrations. You need to, if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. You learn your lesson, dust your feet off, and keep it moving.
Have you ever had a tarot card reading?
Nope.
I know that's another thing in the Black community that we're against, huh? But let's just bring out all the demons. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, you keep them demons over there.
I'm just kidding. I've never had one in person. I watch them on YouTube though.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
How does that work? That sounds so scary.
I know, but it's not.
I mean, what are they manifesting?
They're calling on kind spirits. I don't know. I don't know what they're calling on, to be honest.
See, that's what I'm saying.
They just pull out some cards and it resonates.
Call no spirit out on me. You better keep that spirit over there, Satan. Do I got some sage? Yeah, I got some sage.
I have sage too. I meditate with my sage. With the windows open though.
Oh, I don't know how to do it. I've never done it.
You don't do sage? Definitely. If you're going to burn some sage, make sure you have your doors and windows open.
That stuff stinks.
Well, not only that, the demons running around in your house. Like, they don't know how to leave. All that negative energy, where is it supposed to go?
So they're just like, and then it stops and like, oh, okay, chill. Yeah. Yikes. I don't know what sage does. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm totally new to it. Not even new to it. I've never done it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I love sage. It doesn't smell that bad. Well,
I wouldn't know.
You have to light candles behind it, or spray.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
I don't know anything about why people even use sage. They say when you light it, you can see stuff, and I was just like,
No, I don't know about none of that.
Like where the smoke goes or something like that.
Like anything you burn.
See, that's what I said. I don't know.
Oh, you said like it goes to an area.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sage did things for me that prayer didn't, so I'm just gonna tell y'all that right now. And I was praying my butt off, and I was having other people pray their butt off, and it wasn't until I got on that medication and lit up some sage that something got right. Okay, so.
Hey, if it works for you.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not judging. It's not a judging thing.
I don't denounce, my Christian values. However, I do believe that there's more help out here for you.
Okay. Hey.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you know, get it. Hey, you know, if y'all want to burn your sage, please burn your sage by all means. I'm not. I don't know anything about no sage. I just made a comment on it. I hear people talking about it. I walk in people's houses and they're like, I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like a new fad though now. Like more and more people are getting on it, and I don't know. It might be good, might be bad, but I mean, it's like an incense at this point. Like back in the day in the 90s, everybody had incense.
Right.
Or maybe my parents were just
No, everybody had incense.
Everybody had incense.
At least every black person I know had incense. Every
so now
store
it's
you
like
went into.
sage is more power. That don't make no sense. I didn't say it's more powerful than prayer. I'm just saying sage did things for me that prayer did not.
Hey, you know, some things are just more practical for people.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That is totally fine. If she wants to burn her sage and it's working, hey, you let her burn her sage, buddy. Okay, guys, we have YouTube.
But it was like sage and antidepressants, so I don't know.
Oh, it was a combination.
It was a combination.
So we don't know which one worked.
But I love my sage. I do.
I don't know. I'll go to somebody else's house and let them burn some sage.
No, even like
sage.
if you walk into someone's house that has burnt sage, you can feel not good. But I heard sage burning is not good. But hey, but you can feel like peace. You have your own show.
I think she's talking about you.
Oh.
Or he's talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah. No. This is his show, The Lost One podcast.
It's mine and Chris's.
Or
Chris
yours and
isn't
Chris.
here. But this could go on either or.
Do you have your own podcast?
Coming soon.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
You're going to branch off?
Well, it's not really branching off.
How does Chris feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, I thought we've had the conversation before.
Did y'all? Okay.
I mean, the way I look at it is like, I listen to Joe Budden. And they got like four things he does.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I mean, it's just, there's certain things that, like, let's just say this. Let's say I want to be more in depth about certain things, you know, or something that's more personal to me. That he's like, oh, I'm cool with that. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do that over here. You know, and I don't feel, it's not a conflict of interest. I don't.
Gotcha.
It's just, you know, it's the platform, you know, and if I want to create a different platform for a different reasoning to talk about different things that don't really work with our vision. Because at the end of the day, the Lost One podcast is our vision. Something that me and him came up with together. So there's certain things that we've discussed. There's certain content that we will go over where it's like, all right, well, we'll talk about this. You know, once again, that dialogue between me and him and those conversations will stem off to what people see and what we come up with, what content, what we want to talk about. Now we have like I said, we have a vision. But if I also have a vision for mine. And if he has his own vision, he wants to do his own, that nigga can do that. You know, I mean, it just is what it is. Like, you know, everybody has their thing. You know, I don't feel like people who have podcasts should feel exclusive to
that one.
That one. You know, like, no, like.
What other podcasts do you listen to? Said Joe Budden.
I actually listen to Oprah's Super Soul. That is amazing. I've learned some stuff that helped me with meditation as far as learning how to be present. Like, I never understood what the heck that meant. You know, and this guy he was talking about, he's very smarter than me. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to quote anything that he said, but, you know, it's just talking about, like, I like going to the park. But sometimes when I go to the park, I start thinking about
other things
instead of being
phone.
present. Yeah. Like, yo, I'm at the park, the wind's blowing.
Smells good.
So you know what I'm saying? Like,
green. Yeah.
So now I'm learning how to be
Birds
present.
Are chirping.
I love that for some reason.
No, there's this book called Search Inside Yourself, and it's about meditation, mindfulness. My sister put me on it, and it's by this Google engineer or something of that nature. And they have a course at Google that they teach for meditation and mindfulness. And so basically this book is that course that they go through at Google, and it has greatly improved the attitudes of most of the employees there. Like they're like more successful and like after so many days of journaling, there's so many statistics in it, but yeah, so I've gotten into like mindfulness and breathing and yoga and journaling.
That stuff helps. It helps big time. My sister worked at Google. I'm gonna ask her about that.
That's right. Search inside yourself. It's a good book.
Search. That's what it's called.
It's called Search Inside
I need
Yourself,
you to
and it's in
screenshot
like the little Google format. You know how the Google letters are like different colors.
Is it a physical copy or you audiobook?
I have the physical copy, but they do have audiobooks. I actually bought it for a few of my friends to read, but I don't think any of them bitches read it.
Don't you hate when people do that? I bought this book that like absolutely changed my life, and I gave it to Chris, and he was like, "Yeah, my nigga, it's just sitting over there. I'm gonna get on it though." And I was like, I bought another copy and gave it to him. Like, you know, I'm like, I don't want you to have mine, but here,
Yeah,
you know, bring it back to me so I can bless somebody else to.
Yeah,
that nigga still ain't read it.
What book was that, dude?
It's called The Subtle Art.
Oh yeah, I heard you talking about it on your podcast. Yeah, it was good. Changed your life.
Girl. Changed? I think totally different now.
Yeah?
Like, it's literally changed my life.
Like it was therapy in a book.
It was. It is amazing. I love the book.
Okay.
You should read it.
Okay.
Chris, bring me my book back. You ain't gonna read it.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
But it's also an audiobook as well. But it's really good. You know, I like to read because I like to jot stuff down in my books.
I just like to read to look smart and learn new words. I mean, I like the whole storytelling books, like old Their Eyes Were Watching God type stuff.
Oh.
Like Alice Walker type stuff. Like, so I like old books in Black history and Black Panthers and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I love reading anything Black related. Okay. But lately I have been reading more like self-help books.
You know what? And that book made me hate self-help books.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I don't like self-help books, but I do like thought-provoking books or thought-changing books. Okay. So
I can dig that.
And then I look smart.
And then you look smart.
Because not enough people read.
Are you like shooting slugs from my post earlier?
Oh yeah, you were looking nerdy.
I don't need these glasses, but I like to wear glasses so I can look smart.
So they're not even prescribed?
No.
Wow.
Not at all.
Where'd you get them from?
I don't know, the mall somewhere. People are like, oh, those Jordan glasses got like a little bootleg Jumpman on the side.
Stop.
It's pretty bad. I have no shame.
I'm sick of you.
Hey, it is what it is.
I'm sick of you.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I think we did good. That was awesome.
It was.
Thanks for having me.
Are you kidding me? I'm going to have you again. And then Chris will be here next time, hopefully.
I know. Light Eyes. How I missed out on Light Eyes.
I think he texted me. He's mad at me. He's like, why you gonna tell me you got other people coming on here? I was like, man, fam, look.
You didn't tell him?
I did, but I didn't. Like, he don't like texting me no more. I'm my feelings, I'm hurt.
What happened?
I mean,
oh. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I won't put it.
That was right here. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this one. I'm probably not going to post it.
He is, definitely.
But he definitely texted me. He's upset with me for some odd reason.
Okay, well, I would love to come back. For sure. Y'all know Trap Karaoke is happening May 31st out here.
I saw that.
We should totally go. Well, I'm already going. I already know.
Wait, when is it?
May 31st.
I'll be in town. I'm trying to do more.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to Houston. I'm going to 5 different places in July. So
oh, look at you.
May is definitely open. So if y'all want to invite me anywhere, you can invite me. The month of June, my birthday's in June, so I don't really have any plans yet.
What day is your birthday?
You know what I don't know.
17th. 16th, 17th.
17th.
Yep.
I don't know what day that is.
Mine's 5th, and I don't know what day it is either.
Look, I'm finna find out for you right now. May. Ooh, Jesus. June. My day. On a Monday?
Monday? Mine is on a Wednesday.
Better than a Monday.
Hump day?
And it's crazy because my birthday always falls like either on Father's Day or on like a weird Saturday.
Yeah.
And dang it. Well, hopefully I'll get doubly presents for my kids. Maybe my kid's mother will gift me being such a great father.
A macaroni necklace.
I want some gifts. No, but thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
What's the name of all your stuff again?
Being Andy Jane. I live my life through vlogs and shit talking on the YouTube, on the gram, on the Facebook. About to dive into some podcasts. I have a podcast called The Mill Vet. We're gonna kick back off this summer. where it's just kind of like the millennial veteran,
You're
military,
millennial.
kind of military related, but we're about to change that up. I'm not good at being politically correct, and I hate being put in a box to be politically correct. So, yeah.
All right. Well, y'all check it out. Check her out. She goes there. You gonna give your like IG plug and stuff too?
Yeah, it's all being Andy Jane.
Oh, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Look at
Twitter.
you, smarty pants.
I
Some
mean,
people
you
are not
know,
that
it's a
smart.
brand. You know what I'm saying? It's a brand. So, Stay Down Clothing. I'll just shout that out real quick. But you know,
Is that you? That's your
no,
clothing?
no,
Oh.
it's not. It's my friends.
Oh, look at that. Promoting. Are they black?
Yes.
Ooh, promoting black businesses. Come on,
I mean,
sis.
she light skinned, but she black.
That's all right. She black. You got 10% black and you black.
You black. But yeah.
All right, y'all. We out. Appreciate y'all. Give us some feedback. You are here on YouTube. You're on Facebook, and you'll also be on what's this called? Apple Podcast. You'll be on there soon one day. I don't know which platform, but just be on the lookout. Figure it out. I'll let you know. Whatever. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
How do you stop it? Finn.
You stop it so quick. You're like, ah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
Get out.
Get out.
Hold on. I want to go read my comments because I can't read them after I log in. Not on YouTube. Hey. Make me eat a lot. I sleep a lot too. Hey, just getting in. Hey, bro, I'm on Mountain Time. Is it live still? Yep. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll check y'all in the next video.